just now, the situation has been critical in terms of the last 2 years when various things happened which actually disturbed both the individual who was buying the house as well as the business of real estate. The real estate industry has been going through difficulties right from the time of demonetization, followed by GST introduction, RERA introduction, ILFS typical, and now the COVID times. So the compounding of all these issues hurting the real estate industry certainly made it difficult for the stakeholders in the industry to face the crisis which has come today. There are now silver linings that we can see in this dark clouds, and certainly a lot of steps have been taken both by the industry, by government, by the banking system to make some of the things to be better than what it was before. So we do see that with migrant labor returning back home, which are in millions, I think the problem has been that labor is just not available for the projects to get started off again. And in many cases, we do find that the number of people on these sites have been reduced down to about a quarter of what they were in, say, early of March 2020. So I think all these things put together have created a pressure and a crisis as far as the industry is concerned. The positive angle has been there with the Reserve Bank of India improving the credit policy in terms of real estate as well as MSMEs, and I think this segment is making a difference. Second, the interest rates have dropped, and because of that, we have the lowest cost for EMIs for home loans ever. And I think that is something which is very positive for the customers who are getting long-term money at a very low rate of interest, which is unprecedented in the last couple of years. The third important thing is that most of the thing in the earlier lockdown period, no construction work was permitted. Now, the construction work throughout the country has been permitted in phases in a calibrated manner. So we do see construction come back, especially where the workers are available in situ. And this is the major change which is taking place. I think there are two angles to it. One is the liquidity angle and the second is the demand creation angle. The liquidity angle, because the amount of money is coming to real estate is not adequate enough, and that's why it needs to be pushed both in terms of last mile funding as well as for availability of money for new projects. On the other hand, we need something where the overall economy picks up, and there I believe a cut in the GST will make a world of a difference. So I think on the supply side, availability of liquidity, and on the demand side, cutting GST or similar injection required into the marketplace in order to revive the demand pull of the economy. So I think both these things need to be done if we really want to get the work done. People who have been locked down the last 3, 4, 5 months obviously are looking forward to a bigger home. Both in terms of larger spaces as well as an extra bedroom or an extra room. So I think the demand for residential is definitely expanding. You have referred to the issue of work from home and the effect on the commercial operations. I think it doesn't only depend on the work from home policy. It more depends on the GDP growth. So I do see a little fall down position in terms of commercial in the next 6 to 8 months, because the work from home has become imperative because we've not yet been able to get a vaccine to fight the virus. Industrial and warehousing, I think there is a spurt in demand with the Make in India and the Aatmanirbhar India. I think there is going to be a huge requirement of more industrial parks, warehousing, logistics, and data centers will definitely grow in disproportionate ways because everybody requires to be digitally enabled today So I think data centers too will grow exponentially. We have been asking both Finance Minister and the Reserve Bank of India Governor, we don't have any bank which really works only on infrastructure projects, which is raising long-term money. Most of the banks raise short-term money and do not have the innate ability to lend for long-term infrastructure projects. So this is a demand of the industry that we do need such projects. And countries which do it are able to leapfrog in the infrastructure arena. For instance, China, a lot of banks do lend money for infrastructure projects in China, and hence you can see the quality of infrastructure which has been built over the last 20 years. There are two parts. The first part, that in the case of home loans, there is an aggressive marketing binge by all the banks and housing finance and other institutions. So there's no problem regarding the home loans at all. It is the commercial lending which is a question mark which has happened. And there is an assessment that needs to be done by the banks, financial institutions and the developers themselves. So while there are many credible developers which are there in the country, there are developers who are not credible or are in difficulty at this point of time. And hence that's why we talked about the need for a Swami Fund. Which will ultimately be able to help all those projects which are in difficulty. So, two parts of the entire thing. One where already the confidence is there, and the other which could be forthcoming. Real estate is one of those elements where 99% of the items and inputs that go into building a house are available in India, produced in India, and taken care of by productivity from India. There is no need to have any reliance on those exports in the long run, and people can restructure to buy everything made in India. The second part of it is it's a very labor intensive. It's the second largest labor employer out of any industry. And the more you do it, the less unemployed people that you will have. However, people are skilled or reskilled depending on the need of the industry in different parts of the country. So real estate is a subject which could actually achieve the Prime Minister's goal of an Aatmanirbhar Bharat in terms of demand for it, investment into, and creating a capital asset for the purposes of the home and shelter, and of course social security for one and all. So I think in all directions real estate answers those tick off the boxes in order to create higher GDP and employment. I do believe that real estate will pick up back again. The real demand is there, inherent requirement of buying a house is there. Just now, the situation has been critical in terms of the last 2 years when various things happened which actually disturbed both the individual who was buying the house as well as the business of real estate. But it may take 4 to 6 months for it to get cracking. But I think by March of next year, things will be completely back on track, where people will be able to go buy their houses, take the payments, get the best terms, and move forward. So I think there's a huge opportunity in the real estate as a business to continue to grow in the next couple of years.